Hi, Jenny. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your experience with the Deep Dive in Transformation program. And it's been great having you in the program and seeing the transformation that you've been going through. We just passed the halfway mark. So would you like to share your experience with others?
I would absolutely love to. Gosh, to where to start? Like this deep dive in transformation literally has changed my life. I've told a lot of friends about it already. Even my husband and kids are are telling me things like, "Mom, you don't get angry anymore." Or my husband's like, "Wow, that just happened and you're not upset. I see you do this. You take a deep breath and you center and then you react in such a calm way." So, this deep dive in transformation has been amazing. There have been I've not had an easy life. I've had a lot of traumas in my life. For instance, I broke my back when I was 16. I've dealt with a lot of chronic pain, not only with that, but also in my knees. I've had migraines since I was 15 years old. I My dad passed away when I was 22. I've lost a lot of people in my life. It's not just been my dad. And then I feel like I had a really nice childhood growing up, but I also felt very misplaced. And I was in a very dark time during my high school years. Everybody's like, would you ever go back to high school? No, I wouldn't. It was such a hard time in my life. And it didn't seem to get any easier. I would pretend that it would. I would put on this beautiful mask. But as you know, especially after my dad passed away, that was heart-wrenching. I mean, a girl and her dad, that's a bond that most people don't really that you don't have. I mean, it's a different kind of relationship than you would have even with your mom or your another family member. But when I lost my dad, I never really allowed myself to grieve, which caused a lot of problems in me holding everything in. It caused a lot of anger. There was a lot of guilt and responsibility wrapped up in that, even though it wasn't my fault that he passed away. And it manifested because I didn't allow it to come out in a lot of ways that just wasn't in line with who I was. I became a very angry person. Um, my dad passed away before I got married and before I had kids. But as my life went on after I was married and then I started to have kids, I realized that the relationship that I had with my oldest is 8 now. My goodness, time flies. I realized that a lot of the anger that I was harboring inside, I was taking out on him. And I was becoming this, like, well, he would call it a mean mom. And I just, that broke my heart and I could see the pattern of it. But it's like no matter how much I saw it, I couldn't do anything about it. And I so many times would just fall asleep in tears or lock myself in my room and cry because I was this person I didn't want to be, but I didn't have any control over not being this person. Um, okay, so then I just use that word control. That's another thing. My entire life, I have needed to have control. I've always said it's because I'm a Virgo and I am just that kind of a person. I need to control everything. Yeah, guys, listen to me. That's just like an excuse. Control is a real thing in your life. And so many of us feel that we need to have this control because there's things that we're trying to cover up. There's things that we're like shortcomings that we feel that we have. We don't really have them. They're just like limitations, right? Um, but this control causes us to have a lot of issues in our life, a lot of negativities, I would say, and the feeling the need to control my young son and how he was living his life was causing a lot of anger. Okay, so let's fast forward to doing this deep dive in. Um, like you said, Etta, we are halfway through the deep dive in process, and just in the last month and a half now, I have been able to let go of the control. That's like one of the biggest things, the control of needing to constantly tell my son what to do and expect him to do it and expect him to do it the way I want him to do it. Like he's me. I'm the only one I can control, really. But I think, oh, it's my kid, so I can control him. Ugh, gosh, once
Definitely.
I realized that that's not the case, our relationship changed so much. It's still a work in progress because he still remembers me as like mean mom, especially when he thinks he's about to get into trouble. But I'm able to take a step back and handle the situations with this kind of calmness that I have right now and just
Amazing.
talk to him. Yeah. Um,
And your
my
relationship with
relation,
others as well, isn't it? It's just improved so much
yeah,
when you let go of this anger within you that causing by all these traumas. You're free to do whatever you want in your life, isn't it? Become who you're supposed to be. It's amazing.
that's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, you said relationship with others. The relationship with my mom, from what I was when I was a kid to now, is drastically different. And it already was different before we did the deep dive in that I'm an adult now, and my mom and I have that adult daughter mother relationship. But even now, I see her for like kind of a different person and vice versa. I mean, she sees the changes in me. She sees how much more calm I am in all situations. I mean, when somebody does something to try and get a rise out of me, even if it's my kid, um, they don't get it. They don't get that, like me getting so upset. And I love that. I love the fact that I am able to be calm and come from a place of peace and happiness. And when people start doing this kind of stuff, I almost like just smile and kind of giggle to myself because I'm like, all right, well, you can try this, but this is your own issue. It's not mine. I don't need to fall into this.
You don't have the triggers
Yeah,
anymore. We clear the triggers. That's it, isn't it? You're taking
that's
your
it.
power back. When you get rid of your triggers, nobody can trigger anymore. So you got your power. It's amazing.
That that's it. That's huge. Yep. And then the relationship with my husband. I'm going to touch on this because I think this is really important. Gosh, I love my husband so much. We just celebrated our 11-year anniversary. There
Happy.
was a many years that I felt so disconnected, and I thought that there was a problem in our relationship, and I was projecting a lot of my insecurities into the relationship. And they were my insecurities. It had nothing to do with my husband. But I even felt like I was trying to hold him responsible for it, which obviously is going to cause problems in a marriage. And so once I was able to deal with the triggers, like you just said, but then also find the insecurities that I had within myself and then address those. Um, Gosh, the relationship with my husband has changed dramatically. I mean, we are a unit now. We work together. He sees me as this strong, confident person, not like a different person, just an amazingly confident person, which is very attractive, by the way, and it's reflected very much in our relationship. But then we're also a much stronger unit as parents to our kids and being able to show up for each other and at the same time being able to give each other the space that we need to grow within ourselves without feeling guilty. That was huge. Like, I need this time for me and I'm not going to feel guilty. And he's like, yeah, take that time. And vice versa. I mean, he needs the time for himself. I'm like, yeah, take that time. We're a team. And so this has been amazing. Everybody has crap. I don't mean to sound so like gross about it, but everybody has a past. Everybody has these traumas, and it's the traumas that cause so many roadblocks in our life, so many issues, so many limiting beliefs like, oh, I can't do this. I'm not going to be confident enough to do that. I have this grand belief that I want to run this business, but there's no way I could do that. Who's going to want to work with me? I wouldn't feel confident enough to talk to people. This is all just in our head. And it's this kind of program, this deep dive in program with you, Etta, that just allows us to be able to first recognize what these are. And then you give us the platform to be able to talk about it in a very safe, professional way, which is amazing. And then we work on it. You give so many tools for us to be able to clear this. So then what used to be a blockage is now not even there. It's not even on the radar anymore. And now this lack of confidence is no longer. So I can do the things that I never thought possible, and I can do them with ease because I have this confidence in myself. Gosh, it's amazing.
I know. And it's only been a couple of months. Here we are.
Right?
Would you even
Right?
think about, I mean, being in this position only a couple of months ago? Would you think that that's
You
ever
know,
possible?
I never thought it was possible. I remember, okay, so going back to that whole feeling like a horrible mom yelling at my child, young child, mind you, he's just being a kid, saying, "Gosh, why am I like this? I can't be this mom. I don't want to be this person." Feeling just so stuck because I didn't think that there was a way for me to fix this. I didn't think that there was ever going to be that light. I didn't even see a light at the end of the tunnel. I just saw like a dark room, honestly. So yeah, to say back in I'm talking like October of 2020, just as recent as that, thinking that I would be where I am today, feeling calm when my son throws an attitude because he's feeling frustrated, and me just being like, you know what? It's all right, dude. Come here. Let me give you a hug. Let's work through this. Why don't you go get a drink of water? Why don't you go play with Legos for a few minutes? Decompress, you know? That's that right there. Just that. Not all the other stuff. Just that is totally worth doing this deep dive in with you, because that's huge.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And your migraines, your back pain, your knees.
Okay. So I tell you, this is a whole nother story. Oh my goodness. So I've had these migraines since I was 15. And I thought, my dad said, "Oh, I've had these migraines too. I had them for a decade." All the doctors are like trying to push this medicine on me, which made me feel so much worse. And they're just basically like, you have to deal with it. You're going to have these migraines probably for the rest of your life. It's hormones. I mean, we tried everything. Nothing happened. Nothing worked. Having my firstborn son did a little bit of like a reset with my words here. Sometimes words fail me. It's so funny with the hormones in my body. There's the word. Okay.
Yeah.
But they came back. And then my back, so I broke my back when I was 16. So I've always had chronic pain with that. I have two knees right now that need complete 100% complete knee replacements. And that's probably thankful to the 28 years of martial arts that I've done, and the 28 years of horseback riding that I've done, and just the damage that I have done. I'm an adrenaline junkie. So even the rock climbing that I did when I was younger, I'm just, the stuff that I've done to my body. I've always thought, okay, well, it's just pain I'm going to have to deal with. All right, now fast forward to the deep dive in. We're starting to realize that a lot of the chronic pain that I'm dealing with is my body's way of talking to me. Okay, your body talking to me. I know a lot of you are probably like, what? Body talking to? How's that possible? Yeah, well, the thing of it is your body is like its own system, its own thing. And so we speak, and that is our body talking, but that's driven by our consciousness, right? Our body speaks by how it makes us feel. We get these gut feelings. That's our body speaking. But for me, it's my chronic back pain. It's my chronic knee pain. And when I started listening to the messages that my body's giving me, and not only listening to it, but then acting on it, it it's like the pain's starting to definitely go away. So I started doing this a couple weeks ago and really focusing on the tools, Etta, that you've been giving me in helping with this. And then when I actually implement what my body is telling me, no joke, the pain goes away. I haven't felt relief like this. I haven't had a migraine. You know what? I haven't had a migraine since we started this deep dive in six weeks ago. Like, so that's a testament right there because it's allowing energy to flow through my body, one. And then my body is giving relief. Like, finally, you're listening to me. I've been trying to tell you that you need to slow down because you're too busy. You push yourself too hard. Now you're listening to me. Now you're taking care of yourself. Now you're slowing down. Okay, I won't hurt so bad. You've got the message.
Yeah.
So that's been
Yeah, also emotions get
huge.
stuck in the area when you release the emotions, like the anger, the resentment, the guilt, whatever you have. Body has
Yes.
this healing abilities, so it heals itself. It's amazing how this stuff
Yeah.
works. Because most clients I work with, again, it's the same. Chronic pain just disappear and they don't come back
Yeah.
because you release the
Yeah.
emotions, you release whatever holding it back. It's just
Yeah.
amazing. It's unless you experience it, I can't imagine. It's difficult to believe it, but that's why I talk to my clients to kind of share their own experience so other people can see this is possible. This is a possibility. You don't have to live with pain. You don't have to live with all these emotions. We can release them. We can set yourself free, and when we release them, they don't need to come back. You can be free. You can be happy and content and peaceful. And that's what you're
Yeah.
experiencing now. Or no matter what other people say to you, they cannot trigger because we dealt with the triggers. We released the traumas. We released the fears. We released the limiting beliefs. And now you are
Yeah.
so connected with yourself. You even know how to heal yourself when something comes up. Isn't it amazing?
But it is so amazing. It makes me want to do like my happy dance. It makes me so excited. But then I talk to people about this. I tell them what I've been doing with you and they're just like that is so amazing. There's people that are in our spiritual self mastery lounge that are there because of the story that I tell them. They're like, "Who is this?" I'm like, "Come join us because it's amazing." I mean, I can tell you this all day long. You'll hear this testimonial, you'll hear me talk about this, but honestly, it is worth the time, the effort, the energy that you put into this work. It's not always easy to do this challenging work. I mean, I tell my karate students anything worth doing is not going to be easy. It's I tell my students easy is sitting on the couch eating dry cereal and watching TV. That's easy. That's not going to change your life. This changes your life. And for a moment, it's not easy. It's a bit of a challenge, but it's a good challenge. It's a good challenge in the way, getting yourself up to exercise or stretch is not easy, but it makes you feel so good. But this is work of lifetimes. Like for me to be in my 30s and to know that for the rest of my life, people aren't going to be able to piss me off the way they used to. I love that. Like that's so amazing.
I mean, some people are afraid because they think they're going to go to past, they're going to open up, it's going to be really painful and stuff. But it's not that painful, is it? It is not that hard.
No.
It's just that they need to be ready to let go and just like, it's okay. I think it's
Yeah.
better than living into hell. Don't walk through the hell and just come out, isn't it? When you think about it,
You
it's not
know, you said that.
hard.
You said that and I got chills. So I'll like kind of ping back to the trauma of losing my dad and not ever experiencing that grief. We're talking it'll be 12 years in September that he passed away. And for what, 11 of those years, I never allowed that grief to come out. What that does to inside, what that does to you inside. Okay, so experiencing that day in and day out, like you said, living that hell. It's horrible. So I can see how there's that fear of reliving the trauma, but it's like pulling a band-aid off. There's a brief pain, but it's not the same kind of pain of the injury that the band-aid is covering. And then what you actually feel is the release that you never allowed yourself to have. So, like I said, I never allowed myself to grieve. And when you and I did the work on releasing the trauma around the day that my dad died, I'm not going to lie, I cried. But it was a cry that I've never allowed myself to have. And that right there was so freeing, so liberating, so healing that I've not needed to cry those kinds of tears that I've cried in the last 11 years because now I've been able to release that trauma. And now I can talk about the day that my dad died and not feel that same kind of trigger. And that day is incredibly important to be able to help other people who have been through this. So to be able to talk about this and with that confidence, not even confidence, with the calmness and compassion for what it is, and help other people who have also lost their dad, and them to be like, well, how come you're not upset? How come you're not triggered? Well, it's not that I'm not upset. It's just that I'm not coming from a place of such traumatic holding it in. I'm able to release it, and now I can help you. I can help other people. I can talk about it. I can guide you and let you know that you too can feel this way if this is what you want to feel, you know.
And you're not in that trauma anymore. You're not a victim anymore. You understand it. You
Yes.
release it. You let go, and you're free to do whatever
Yeah,
you want to do, isn't it? That's the most amazing
that's
thing
it.
about it. And every week we
Yeah.
work on something different. One week, if work on your dad. Next week we work on something else, like your son. One week your
Yeah.
marriage, and it's just every week. And if you cannot give yourself this gift, and if you rather live in your own self-inflicted prison, it's again your choice. But if you're ready,
Yeah.
there are tools, there are opportunities for you to find yourself again, find your freedom, let go of whatever holding you back in life. And this is a deep dive
Absolutely.
transformation program. So would you recommend this to other people?
Hands down, I would absolutely recommend this to anybody. And I have, and I will continue to. I would say that for me, I would take like all of the gifts I would buy myself for this year and wrap it into this one thing and give this one gift to myself. It means more than just that to me, but that's what it means. I mean, this is a gift to myself that is changing my whole life. So I would recommend this to anybody. And here's the thing, if it's meant to be and you want to do it, you'll make it happen. And that's all there is to it. There's no excuses. You'll just do it. So I would absolutely recommend it for
You
sure.
knew that you wanted to do it and you made it happen, didn't you? It was amazing how you made
Yeah.
it happen. It was really amazing, actually.
And that's one of the things, that's how the universe works. When you decide that you want to do something, and this is not the first time that I've recognized that I can do this in my life, but really any of us can. When we put our mind to it, when it's that important to us, when we see the benefit, yeah, you just figure out how to make it work. I mean, right now it's what we meet in the morning, my morning at 4 a.m. That's how important this is to me because this is when it's quiet. My kids are still sleeping. This is my time. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Jenny Bay's in the US, so she wakes up 4 o'clock in the morning to do our sessions every week. And my hat off to you. I think you're an amazing person because you want this so much, and the universe is opening the doors to you, going, here you go, you want it, you can have it, and you can have it more.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
most of my clients say this was the best investment of their life. So what do you think?
I totally agree. Absolutely the best investment of my life. If I can work on healing me, then I can show up in life for others and I can do what it is that I feel like I need to do. Be the better person at work, be the better karate instructor for my students, be the better mom, be the better wife, be the best version of myself. So, yeah, absolutely worth
And
it.
be happy, be free. I think these are very
Yes.
right, isn't it? That's very
Yes.
important. You can't buy happiness, you can't find peace or freedom. But with this comes as a side effect, I guess,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yep.
Brilliant.
That's exactly it.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for trusting me as well. And I'm looking forward to our rest of our journey. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Absolutely. Thank you, Etta. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you as well.